Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, just introduction about ELV system. As you know, ELV is dealing with low voltage. It's not in the high voltage ranges, and we have multiple systems in ELV, and it's keep on growing depending on the client requirements, depending on the latest movements in the industries and the different sectors. We have mentioned here the key systems as general access control, EAV system, BMS, CCTV, GRMS, lighting, fire alarm systems, and structure cabling system and public PA systems as well. So as you know, you can have systems. It's in a two different basic formats. You can have a standalone system and on-prem or cloud-based solutions. Standalone is like the system you configure and it works its own, and there is no any monitoring or anything. It happens, and you have on-prem systems. You have a server-based and or standby server, and you have a clustering-based solutions. And the latest technology is the cloud-based. So when you have multiple branches in the different countries, or you have a space constraint, or you feel like you can go with multiple buildings altogether, or multiple different countries have a different systems which you want to make it in a single umbrella, then you go for the cloud-based solutions. So each systems have a different advantages. When you go for a standalone system, it's like for military services and for some secure services. You do not want to connect your system to the outside world, so you have a on-prem solutions and the standalone solutions. And now the cloud-based solutions also combines with the cyber security and other terms, and you can have a fully secured solutions in the cloud-based as well. And the systems we can, the different people calling the systems in the different like integrated building solutions, IBS, ASIM, physical security information management system, and SMS security management system. So people call the different terms based on the different combination of the systems and different purpose of the system and the benefits of the systems. Okay, so we can move forward to the next slides. So here I just want to mention who has to learn the ELV systems. As you know, the ELV system is a key element. It's like the brain of the complete HVAC, like MEP systems, not HVAC only, MEP, complete MEP system in the buildings. So who has to learn the ELV? The first, the important person is the guy who spent the money. So the investor. So investor is deploying the client representative teams who go into the deep about all the civil requirement, all the MEP requirements. So as you know that ELV is falling under MEP, so uh, you have the key knowledge about ELV system to be required for the investor investor who deploying the system, who deploying the client representatives in the buildings or wherever the construction activities goes. And the next key element in the building is building or any construction or any project activities are the consultants or the evaluator who make who understand the client's requirement in deep, and he make a specification tender drawings and that. So the he must know the ELV system as well, because he is the one defining, and he is the one making a tender document to open for the bid. And the third important team is main contractor in the business. So who's basically a civil contractor or the total package provider for the project, and who has a small department of ELV, also who knows about ELV and go through the specifications and comply the specifications, and also talk to the ELV solution providers and MEP contractors and ensure that whatever the specification is complying by the MEP team. So the next comes the MEP contractor. As you know, the MEP contractor is the one holding the ELV system. So ELV package is part of the MEP contractor. And so they also have a team who understand 1 or 2% or depending on the volume of the project. They keep the team level of people who can understand and coordinate with the ELV team, ELV specialists. So basically, the ELV specialists are the solution providers. It might be a single company or it might be multiple companies who comes under MEP contractor who do the work for the project under MEP or under main contractor. Sometimes the ELV contractor appointed directly by client representatives as well. Apart from that, who can learn the system or who's interested in ELV packages, who want to learn, who's very passionate about the system, who can go ahead and learn ELV system, which is beneficiary for them and for their like or their own premises installation ELV packages for automating their villas or automating their buildings and securing their building with the CCTV surveillance system and access control system and about the fire alarm system. So for the safety of the occupants. So these are the team and the peoples who has to learn ELV system. So it's not like the people can omit the system and they need to learn ELV packages, ELV system so that they are aware about what they are providing and so that ease of maintenance also it's one of the beneficial for the ELV system. We can go in the further slides to understand more. I will move to the next screen. So as I mentioned earlier, it's a part of the MEP packages and ELV tender documents also part of ELV packages. You will have specifications and you will have a control schematic and you will have a floor layouts. From there, you need to have findings about the requirements. You need to quantify and also you need to choose. You need to calculate the requirements based on the schematic and the layouts and the specifications. So each items is very vital for making a workable solution and in line with the specification in line with the client requirement. So most important, it's like not over budgeting or under budgeting. So under budgeting and we win the project, it burns our hand while doing the execution. Over budgeting, also we will not have a chance to get the projects. So that is the main reasons that we need to go through all the elements to make a tailor-based solutions based on the client requirement. It's not a standard solution or standard like a blocks moving solution for the ELV. You need to craft it actually. So we can see the challenges in the ELV design systems. There is RFIs we raise to get the clarifications before we proceed for finalizing the project. Or during the execution, we raise the RFI to get the clarity and to make a workable solution, which is in line with the client requirement and national and local regulation authority requirements. So findings on the site survey also vital in the ELV system. It's because we go with the specifications only or layouts only. It's not works because there are plenty of changes which is not updated to us or which we have not gone on regular basis. So it's vital to have the site survey before we proceed for ELV design finalization. Here, just I have made one physical security information management systems architecture. So you will have a multiple systems. You will have a monitoring station, video wall solutions separately, and the client-based solutions separately. You have a servers and art-based or standby server and cold standby server, depending on the client requirement. You can see that multiple systems are connected here: fire alarm, intruder detection system, CCTV, and access control system. Just a moment. And PA system. So generally it comes under umbrella of one single LAN network, security LAN network, where you can have multiple monitoring solutions and multiple servers to operate. But it's from the unified solution, as the name unified. You can see complete system in a single software. You do not require to go for multiple software. That is the major advantage of the PSAM. You don't need to have a multiple operator to monitor the multiple systems. You can have a single unified solution and have a very few operators, and they will get notified and they will route to the concerned maintenance team. So that will be simplified, optimize the resources, and also reduce the maintenance cost. So far it's good. I can go ahead further.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, no problem. Uh,
Am
well,
I going faster or slower?
awesome.
It's fine.
Okay, no, no, it is fine. No problem.
So as I mentioned, the standalone system, it goes like a simple architecture I mentioned here. The system goes to the one location. It never moves outside of the premises. So it's people call it it's more secure, but you have to spend a lot of space for cooling the server racks cost, because you will have a CCTV and CCTV separate server, or even if it's a unified solution, you need to have a one rack location and you need to keep that rack cool, because you will have uninterrupted power supply, which needs the conditioned space. So there are pros and cons of each architecture. So here you have a hot standby failover architecture. You can have two different servers. So in case of failure of one server, it immediately taken over by another hot standby server. So it's the name itself. It's called as hot standby. You can understand. You can have multiple systems. It's depending on again the client requirement. You can have server and hot standby server. Apart from the client requirements, there are local regulations and international bodies requirements also there. So for example, when we go for the banking solutions, for the banking sectors, you might need to have the surveillance systems, which is with the server and the hot standby server redundant solutions. It must have redundant solutions. As you know that it's a banking sector, you will have a high risk on the security. To cover that, you need to have a standby solution. And like the multiple locations, you can have or standby solutions. It's a little bit uh, complicated architecture, just for your brief. And we can go further. It's depending on the solutions and the requirements. So for now, we come to the access control system requirements. So you know that the concept of access control system. So it's all about who's accessing which doors at what time. So who, which, what, that is what the access control system it says. Who accessed and which doors they accessed, or which gates they accessed, and what time they accessed. So design criteria are again it's based on the server-based solutions, standalone server, or standby or cloud-based solutions. So nowadays, it's cloud-based solution is very popular, and people do not require to have a local server to manage. If, for example, they have office in Dubai and they have office in UK, London, and they have offices in Singapore, they can bring under one cloud-based solution architecture, and they can have a one location which doesn't require the local presence of the server. That is the advantage. And depending on the licensing for the softwares, we will be defining the different vendors are defining in the different formats, like they say professional and expert level and corporate level licensing, when we call it about the milestone. So licensing is depending on how many readers you are connecting. So based on that, you can have a 12 readers licensing module 24 and 48. So it's depending on how big the system is. We need to choose the software. So if we are choosing the software in the higher range, like you are choosing a 256 reader licensing, but you have only 24 readers, then definitely you will not get the project, or you are doing the wrong design. Okay, so it's depending on the readers. You need to define based on the layout and the schematic, how many doors are there, how many readers are required. Is it reader in and push button out, or both side readers? So you need to define, you need to make a one one sheet which is making the summary of all the requirements. Okay. And the doors also you will be choosing the master slave concepts. As the name it implies, master basically it's a IP based controller. It holds the access control informations, the log informations, access control credentials. As the name implies, the slave, it doesn't have the brain, it doesn't have the memory. It just connecting with the master. Whatever the master says, it does. So the connection between the master and the slave controllers are using RS-485. So it also defined in the tender specifications while you choose the door controllers, you must need to go to the specification and check whether they are looking for IP-based controllers. And most of all the IP-based controllers are coming like a master controllers, which holds the information, which holds the access control credentials, which holds the logs informations. So you need to choose the master controllers or master slave controllers concept based on the client requirement and based on the distance. If it's multiple premises are there, so each premises must have one IP controller to communicate with the server or to the next level of access control system. So you can have access control system in three minimum tiers architecture. One is in the field level, another is the control level, another is the management level or the software level, server level you can have. Okay, so far so good. Is it clear?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Yes. So depending on the door controllers, you can also define if you have a like let's say you have a staircases on the different locations. It's far 100 meters far, so you have a single door controller. You can use it, and if you have a two three doors coming together, you can use the multi-door controllers. So basically, the multi-door controllers you can have a like a four readers or eight reader controllers. So depending on the vendor, they have a different kind of different concepts of the controllers. So you need to quantify the controllers required based on the area wise. So you need to define the area or the zone. So in each zone or each IDF wise, so you have to place a controller in IDF room, and you need to calculate how many doors are there, and you need to summarize how many readers are there, how many readers in, readers out doors, type of the doors you need to calculate and define, and you can select the controllers based on that. Okay, so it starts with the field devices first. So what is the field devices? You need to cumulate, you need to make a summary of the field devices, readers, locks, locks as a control element, and the monitoring element, doors, door contacts, or push button, or brake glass, or any motion sensors you are using for auto movement. So these are things you need to summarize per area wise and per panel wise. So you will have one access control panel. You need to have a multiple. You will have a multiple door informations underneath of each type of access control panel, and you need to make a cumulative of how many access control panels, and each access control panel might have one IP based controllers. So it goes on, and it's depending on again if you are having a multiple input output. Like for example, you are connecting for fire alarm system, you are monitoring, or you have some flashes sound or intro alarm systems you are connecting with. So you need more inputs outputs. You have a limited inputs outputs in the multi-door controller from your vendor. So you need to have IO boards depending on how many inputs and outputs. And apart from that, you will have elevator controller as well. So some vendors they have defined elevator controllers. Otherwise, you need to have IO board controllers depending on how many floors you are monitoring and controlling. So that many inputs from the lift control panel, it will comes to the elevator controller, access controller. And also CCTV system connectivity. Also, you need to look what level of integrations you need to have. Some hardware integrations or it's a software level integrations. Like somebody is trying to tamper the door, so automatically the CCTV camera should capture, and it should automatically send the notification alarms, and also in the monitoring software, it will pop up the screen CCTV camera, it will be pop up automatically and show that there is a somebody is trying to tamper the door. There is a security violation is happening. You got it? Furthermore, we can go on the readers. So readers also, you have a different type of readers. You need to choose based on the cards. So maybe if it's existing cards are there, or what is the latest technology of the cards the client is looking for, or they are using for some Bluetooth mobile credentials. So you need to have a Bluetooth reader with the mobile credentials it can accept. So you have a vegan based on the wire, the type of communication it happens. It can be classified vegan or OSDP readers you choose for. So vegan is a very common technology. You will have 8 core cables, and OSDP you can have a 4 or 6 core cables. So depending on the requirement from the vendors. So again, it's depending on the specifications. So now the people asking for OSTP, you cannot consider the vegan readers because the prices are differs. So you must know to the specifications what is the type of readers, what is the type of communication between the reader and to the controller happening. So based on that, based on the technology, what is the communication technology, vegan or OSTP, you need to choose the reader as well. Okay, is it clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So again, that low frequency, high frequency, ultra high frequency is depending on the range you are using for the cards. You are going for the gate barriers. You want to have a 5 meter, 8 meter range. You go for ultra high frequency. The frequency range of the readers it differs, or you go for the low frequency or standard high frequency for you want to have 3 meter or 1 feet, like a 0.5 meter distance between the card and the access reader. Okay. And cables, selection of the cables also very crucial in the access control system. So you have outer jackets, low smoke zero halogen, or PE jackets. If it's completely outdoor, you go for the PE jacket, or combination of low smoke zero halogen PE and armored cables, or PVC jackets for indoor. So choosing cables, it's not only on the client requirements or the layouts. So you need to be wise enough to choose the cables. You cannot go for the low smoke zero origin cables where you can have a PVC cables. You can use it. For example, the client doesn't ask for low smoke zero origin cable, and you are going for low smoke zero origin cable in the place of PVC jacket. Definitely, the prices varies 20 to 30% difference is there. So your price will be shoot up. So when you're crafting the low current systems, especially about the cables, because in the cables also very vital part. It's maybe it's around 20 percentage of 20 or to 30% of your total package. The cables are there. Okay, so in terms of value, in terms of cost, so you choose the exact requirements. For example, the readers are outside. You cannot go for the PVC. It will not be workable solution. You need to go with the PE jackets or armored based on if it's buried directly on the ground or if you are using the duct. Also the shielded, unshielded based on the type of the signal it carries. So the signal it carries, you have the readers. It's has to be shielded, and for the monitoring you can have unshielded. Okay, so you need to choose the cables also based on that. And the locks also, type of the locks you have a magnetic lock or door strikes, or you have a sliding door motor controller, Mortis locks, and you can see the push bar for the staircases, wireless locks. If you do not have any possibilities of using a wired lock, there is no containment can be laid, or the client is okay to go with wireless locks. There are plenty of wireless locks options are coming. So use the mesh network router coming along with the wireless locks to communicate with the access control system. Also, you need to, based on the life safety system requirements, you need to choose fail-safe or fail-secure locks. Okay. So as the name states, it's securing the door in case of fire. It's making the safe in case of fire. That's called fail safe and fail secure doors, and the locks also has to be chosen depending on that. So integration with fire alarm system also very crucial because it's zone wise. If you get any zone alarms, then corresponding any critical doors, main doors has to be kept open. So it should be fail safe condition. So intercom system integrations also you might need to have if you are having the connection with the door intercom entrance panels. Apart from that, integration with BMS CCTV using the SDK API interface, also part of the access control system requirements. Okay. So next comes to the building management system. As you know, the building management system, you are monitoring and controlling the entire MEP systems, and you will have specifications, and you will have a control schematic from the tender documents, tender specification, and the tender control schematic, tender layouts. From that, you need to derive the IO point schedules. So IO points will be like what is the IO point schedule? It's the IO point. The schedule will give the detailed input and outputs. For example, when you're monitoring some, we can say about FCUs. In the FCUs, you will have a valve control. You will have a three-speed control. You will have a three-speed. For the three-speed, you will have a digital outputs. For the valve control, either it will be analog output or digital outputs. So you need to define, you need to understand the type of inputs and outputs and the type of the signal, and you need to define for each system. So I have mentioned here, you can see air handling system, FCU, booster pumps, transfer pumps. So each systems, the monitoring points and the control points are varies. So from the schematic, you can arrive from specifications. You can arrive the requirements. If there is no such things, then you need to propose as you need to understand the system about each system, like each system equipments, AHUs, FCUs, booster pump, what it does, what can be done with the BMS part. So you can define, you can propose the input output schedules if there is no specification or the control schematic. Okay. So for that, you need to understand each systems, what you can get, what kind of input points you can get, what kind of output you can get, what is the sequence of operation client is looking for. You want to automate the complete MEP system, or you want to only monitor. For example, when you go for the fire pump set, in the fire pump set, we are monitoring only. We cannot we do not have authorization to control in the building management system. So there we are monitoring only the pump status. And for AHUs, of course, you can do the BMS control. You need to build the logics. So you can define the IO schedules for AHU control and present to the client for the approval. Same for the FCUs and other equipments as well. So there are MEP plant equipments which you can only monitor. There is restrictions to monitor only, or there are places where you need to monitor and control to have a better energy saving. So you need to define all that. Okay, so you can in the detailed classes and our detailed documentations and study documents, you can understand about each systems and how to get this IO point derived. Okay. So in BMS, IO points are very vital to define the old requirements. It's just like access control system. The area wise, you are having like for in each area, how many doors are there? You will be based on that. You will be considering the multi-door controller. Same way here, it's you will have like each area wise. You will define how many MEP equipments are there. Like for example, you have a two AHUs, one fan coil unit, and two booster pumps. Depending on that, you need to have IO points, and sometimes the IO points are hardware, sometimes it's a software. Like when you have the crack units, you can see that crack units can have a backnet or modbus interface, or VAV CAV boxes. You can also have a backnet communication or MP bus or modbus communications. So the IO points not only will have hardware points, it will have details of software IO points as well. which need to be connected to the system. So when you have a software I/O points, your controller will have the particular gateway, like for Modbus gateway or backnet interface modules, backnet MSTP. So it will have the provisions. You need to choose the controllers based on the requirements of hardware and the software points. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, clear.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and again, like in the access control system, I said the three-tier architecture. Here also you will have a three-tier architecture. You have a field level, and you will have a controller level, and you will have a management level. Okay, in the field level, you will have all kind of sensors and everything, and in the controller level, you will be choosing the controller depending on the field devices and the field monitoring. And top of that, you will have a management server and the monitoring station. Depending on type of monitoring you require, depending on the server requirements, you will have a standby or standby server, or you will have a separate server if it's a huge system. You will have separate alarm server, you will have a separate log server to manage the log and to manage the alarms. So it's again depending on the criticality of the system you will be choosing. And same like access control here, you will have cables has to be chosen, what type of cables, armored or shielded, unshielded, PE jackets or PVC jacket is okay, or low smoke zero halogen system. And integration with other systems also should be considered here. If you have a GRMS system, you need to have integration with the BMS and access control CCTV also. Like in case of access controller failure, it notifies to the BMS. And also in case of any CCTV server failure or any NVR based solutions, then NVR failure, you can have hardware based connectivity with the BMS system to monitor and pop up and notify the people immediately that there is a server failure or there is an NVR failure or there are access control system controllers are failure. So when we come to the CCTV system, so in the CCTV system, as you know, the safety and security measures are the vital role of surveillance systems. So for the safety of the people and for securing the belongings inside the premises, we monitor with the surveillance systems, which is very necessary for threat protection in the building, for the building and the people. Okay, so as you see that it's the people who steal the things, who try to take from the premises, it's like where there is a dark places or where there is a no surveillance systems. As you know that the people knows there is a surveillance system, they are very cautious and they are not doing any violations or they are not doing any crime. At they know that there is a surveillance system is there. So that is the vital purpose of the surveillance system in the premises, to safeguard the people and to secure the belongings inside the building. Okay. So based on the local authority where you are staying, like you are in Saudi Arabia, you have a separate regulations, and when you go to the UAE, you have separate regulations. So there is a guidelines. Apart from that, there is international guidelines also there. So most of the time, the international guidelines based derivation is happening for the local authority standards. So, for example, when you go for the UAE, the UAE standards are mostly is complying with the international standards, apart from the local regulations, so that you can see that its regulations are there for the surveillance systems which need to be adhered apart from the specifications. Even though there is a specification standard documents and even though there is a control schematics and layouts, there are regulations you know to be followed if you are providing CCTV solutions for a particular country. Like for example, here in Dubai, if you provide, you have some SIRA regulations which need to be adhered. It's a straightforward. If the specification is there or not there, if the premises is falling under the security system surveillance, and we must need to provide, there are some certain requirements are there. So you can categorize the requirements as two parts. One is the regulation standards, one is the operational requirements. So the regulation standards are there, like where you need to keep the ID cameras for identifying the people, or where there is a recognition camera to recognize the people, or monitoring the perimeters. So there are regulations are there. Apart from that, if you want to have additional cameras, if the client is asking for the additional cameras, you must need to add to comply with the requirement of the client as well. Okay, so that's why I mentioned here, you will have a local regulations requirements as well as the client requirements. So the type of surveillance systems, it goes from the DVR solutions to the IP-based NVR and the server-based solutions. So you nowadays the analog-based solution is gone. So since it's if the premises are not falling under any kind of category that which need to be followed with the local standards, for example, for the small shops or small houses, that's not mandatory as per the local regulations. You can go for the analog based solutions, coaxial cables you can use. But now equally to the analog, there is IP based cheaper solutions comes from the different markets. You can get Chinese brands, which is much better compared to the other European brands, and gives on very low cost with higher resolution cameras and higher specifications. Okay, so what I try to say is like you can go for IP-based solutions, which economical, but it gives more features. So you have to choose the cameras based on the resolutions. You go for 2 megapixels, 5 megapixels, 8 megapixels, and the lenses also. It's depending on the field of view. So what is the field of view? It's near or it's far. You will have a 4 meter. The object what you are monitoring is distant from your camera location for 10 meter, 15 meter, 20 meter. So accordingly, you will be choosing the lens as well. The lens will be from 2.8 mm or 4 or 8, 12 mm, or you will have a, very focal in the sense you will have a multiple 2.8 to 12 mm or 3 to 12 mm like lenses you can go with. Fixed is, of course, the price was cheaper. When the client is looking for a very focal in the specification asking for a very focal, you go for the very focal. Again, the type of the structure of the surveillance cameras, you go with dome or vandal dome. So basically, the ID camera should not be tampered because it's identifying the person who's entering the premises. That is the first camera it captures the people. So the structure is a vandal dome camera. It should not be breakable easily. It should not be tampered easily. So again, the bullet cameras or the PTZ cameras or the radar cameras or the covert cameras. So covert cameras is most of the regulations doesn't allow, as the name states, it's covered. You cannot see the people entering the premises, cannot see the camera. It's covered camera. So that is not allowed in some of the countries. And maybe if it's allowed, it has to be taken the permissions actually. So depending on the architecture, again, you will have a here the three-tier architecture. You will have a field level and management level and monitoring and yeah, field level you will have and controller level, and you will have a kind of management level. Field levels are like cameras, all type of cameras, and in the control level you will have like you will have NVRs or DVRs or SAN storages, and management level you will have BMS servers, and you will have recording servers to, and you will have the software to desktop or workstations sitting on the top of the management level to monitor the complete solutions. So apart from that, it's also the technology is so wide now. The people are going with cloud based solutions. So that means the storage is not happening locally, or there are possibilities of hybrid solutions as well, not to lose the data or to have a multiple branches in the different countries. They go with hybrid, or it's depending on the security level. If it's like basic offices, they may go completely cloud-based solutions and with the yearly subscriptions. The main thing is we don't need to worry about the separate IDF and the separate maintenance team for that. All it's connected to the cloud-based solutions. And apart from that, you have a cameras with edge technology, so it stores and does the analytics automatically in the camera itself. Camera itself comes with the brain. It analytics and push the analytic data to the servers. Like if somebody is perimeter detection, if somebody coming near the premises where it's already monitoring with the cameras, which is not allowed the people to enter, so it will allocate. There is a perimeter cost detection. Like different kind of analytics are there. So AI is making a vital role in the surveillance systems. So it gives make the analytics within minutes, we can say, or within multiple seconds. It gives the details, like when you have premises and you see there is a suspicious things, or the person who unauthorized person is entering, and you have an image of that person. Once you put in the system, it compares and gives within 30 seconds where the person went and everything. So that kind of analytics features or comes with the latest technology. Of course, it requires a lot of storages. So you must know about the total requirements and what are the type of requirements you like. AI analytics is required, and you need to choose ID cameras with the AI analytics, or type of what type of cameras client is looking for AI analytics actually. But basically it's something, analytics is happening is the edge based or the software based. So you have a two different type of analytics is in the market. One is edge based analytics, which is part of the memory of the system, the camera itself. The another one is you will have a software based analytics. There are some software solution providers who integrated with the standard VMS systems. So VMS is a video management system, is managing the complete surveillance systems. So you have a software which is connected to the VMS to have a software-based AI analytics as well. Apart from that, this is the futures of the surveillance systems. So when you are going for each when you're choosing the system, so it's same like the concept of the building management system and access control system. You will have area wise one IDF. In that IDF you will keep one rack. In the rack you will have the multiple network switches, and the patch panels. And apart from that, you will have, if it's exceeding more than 90 meter, you might have the PoE extenders and media converters, maybe if you are converting from copper to fiber. On top of that, you might have the storage server in the MDF or in each IDF as well. Okay, so you need to choose the switches depending on how many cameras, and you need to choose the UPS depending on the load of the depending on the total rack load, like how many switches are there and what is the rating of each switches. You need to choose also the UPS based on the battery backup it's required. Some regulation states 30 days, some regulations asking for 30 minutes backup, some regulations asking for 60 minutes backup. So you need to have the battery packs accordingly to be chosen as well. Or if you are subcontractor is choosing for the UPS, you need to give the rating of UPS. Let's say I have a rating of 2000 watts. 2000 watts is my network switches rating, and I need for the 60 minutes backup. You need to give for them to choose the number of battery packs. Okay, and the switches you need to choose based on the what is the rating and what is the bandwidth. You might need to have a 24 port switch or 48 port switch, and what is the uplink requirements, like you need to have a 40 gig uplinks or 10 gig uplinks. So you need to choose the switches and SFPs accordingly. Okay, and the POI extenders also you need to choose accordingly. You might have a long span, like you will have a transmitter and receiver. If it's exceeding more than 200 meter, you cannot go with the POI extender. You need to have a long span. Otherwise, you can go for the mid span as well. And for the latest technology comes with, if you are having multiple premises or the huge premises where you need to monitor the surveillance, monitor with the surveillance systems, like for the street cameras. The street cameras may be spread across 10 kilometers, so you cannot bring all to the buildings. You might have the field equipment cabinets installed for the some zones. You need to classify some number of cameras. For example, for 20 cameras, you will have FEC cabinets in the outside of the premises in the street itself. So you need to choose the outside power supply, outside outdoor rated power supply, and as well as the switches, outdoor rated switches. You need to choose FEC cabinets with air conditioning. If there is no there is no provision for the power, then you need to go for the solar solutions, or like completely solar based, working on the solar based solutions. You'll have solar PVs and solar based controllers with backup batteries to connect for the cabinets with the racks, switches, and everything. Okay, is it clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is clear.
So depending on the requirement and everything, you need to choose, and it's as SAN storage also. When your SAN or NVR NAS storage, so you can see that DVR is mostly for the analog system, and the NVR for network based. You connect directly, or maybe if the NVR doesn't have the PoE ports, you might need to have the PoE switches, network switches, and you will have the 32 channel NVR, 64 channel NVR, 128 channel NVR in the market. Or if you are going VMS based solutions, then you will have a NAS storage and SAN storage. So as the name states, SAN storage area network, you will have a separate storage devices and controller apart from the server. So mostly the NAS, it's like a network area storage. You will create using the single server to storage as well as to manage the VMS. So you have different solutions depending on the different client requirements. So you need to choose based on the specification as well. So that is just a brief about the system. Apart from that, we have all multiple systems that Mr. Palni can give the brief. But what are the systems we will be providing, and you are open to questions now. Palani?
Yeah, yes, Bhaskar.
Yeah, so you can brief about our modules, and any questions are there, you can ask also.
Yeah, the training is clear. So whoever is interested, they can WhatsApp me separately, and then we'll have a discussion about how to join, whatever support will be provided, everything. Okay, Jijo, Sarab,
Okay.
Bhaskar,
Yes, okay.
Klaus.
Okay,
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll drop on message and WhatsApp.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Welcome
Yeah.
for briefing.